In this video, we are going to learn the first kingdom under domain Eukarya, and that's kingdom Protista, or another name we call it kingdom Protoctista. Kingdom Protista is also called as a junk drawer kingdom, which means that it consists of a wide variety of organisms that cannot be grouped into prokaryote, fungi, plants, or animals. So all these random organisms that do not belong to any other groups, they are all put into kingdom Protista. Since kingdom Protista is under domain Eukarya, they consist of all eukaryotes, and it means that it has the true nucleus and membrane-bound organelles. Other than that, kingdom Protista also consists of almost all unicellular organisms. Of course, there are still a few multicellular organisms. And the feeding mode is either heterotrophic, which means we feed on other organisms, or autotrophic, which means it can produce its own food. Kingdom Protista can be divided into two main groups. One that is plant-like, we call it as the algae. Another one which is animal-like, these are the protozoa. Algae, they are plant-like because they are non-motile. They show alternation of generations in its life cycle, as well as its feeding mode is autotrophic, or we say photosynthetic. Example here, we have the Phylum Chlorophyta, as well as Phylum Phaeophyta. Chloro, from its name, like chloroplast or chlorophyll, the green pigment, so Chlorophyta is simply the green algae. While for Phaeophyta, it's the brown algae. Example of organisms in phylum Chlorophyta, the green algae, we have Chlamydomonas, which is this organism here. It consists of chloroplasts, that's why it will appear green. And for Phaeophyta, we have the organism Fucus species, the brown algae. So it has the brown pigment fucosectin. So because of this brown pigment, the algae appears brown. And you can see that it consists of the air bladder. Because of having these air bladders filled with gases, it helps the algae to float, to hold the leaves upright. When you look at the Chlamydomonas, it has these two holes over here. They are not eyes, but they are the vacuole that we call the contractile vacuole. And what is it for? The contractile vacuoles, they are used to contract and remove excess water. Basically, it involves in osmoregulation to regulate the water balance in the cell. Now let's look at group Protozoa, which consists of the four major phyla. The first one, we have Phylum Euglenophyta. From its name, you can tell the example, we have Euglena species, which is this organism here. Euglena species can be plant as well as animal-like. How is it like plant? Because it has the chloroplast. Having the chloroplast, it allows Euglena to carry out photosynthesis. That's why the feeding mode of Euglena, it can be autotrophic or photosynthetic. While another way, it is also animal-like. How is it like an animal? Because it is motile. Motile, it means that it can move. How? From the picture itself, you can tell the Euglena, they can move by using the flagellum. Having this flagellum for movement or locomotion. Another phylum, we have Phylum Rhizopoda. The example of organism, we have amoeba species, which is this picture here. Amoeba move by using the pseudopods, or we say the pseudopodium. If plural, then we say pseudopodia. This pseudopodium or pseudopodia is to extend for movement as well as for feeding. Amoeba, they will feed by phagocytosis. The next phylum, we have Phylum Epicomplexa. Previously, this phylum is known as Phylum Sporozoa. And now, the example of organism, we have Plasmodium species. You have to remember this species very well because this is the causative agent of the disease, malaria. Anopheles female mosquitoes will pass the Plasmodium species into the human blood when they bite the human, and that will cause malaria disease. Generally, the epicomplexans, they are mostly non-motile, means they cannot move, which is this picture shown here. That's the Plasmodium species. And the last phylum of group Protozoa that you need to learn is Phylum Cereophora. Example of organism, we have Paramecium species, which is this here, looks like a slipper. The hair-like projection here, it is the cilia. What is it for? It's like the function of pseudopodia. It is used for locomotion, movement, as well as for feeding. So you can see clearly here, for Euglenophyta, it uses flagellum. Rhizopoda, it uses pseudopodium. Epicomplexa, generally non-motile, it cannot move. And for Cereophora, it uses cilia. These four phyla uses different structure of movement, and that's how we classify the four phyla. It's based on the types of movement they used.